Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIII. So yeah, we're inside the what's the name of the ship again too? Palamecia, that's it, okay.
Reference to the evil empire of Final Fantasy II.
See,
again, cute.
See, this is why I need Teo to be in this playthrough, because I so don't give a rat's ass about anything in this game, so I need Teo to be the encyclopedia for me, basically.
But also to finish quickly what I was mentioning towards the end of the previous part, again, the idea of a character that essentially lies and to an extent gaslights the entire party while not very responsible behind that, but they at least know part of the truth and telling that earlier could have solved some problems instead snowballs into bigger ones later on. Again, is yet another reference to Final Fantasy VII with Tifa. One aspect that didn't got talk much about it until the early, at least the mid 2000s. At least also we have no internet because other people that I knew played Final Fantasy VII never spoke too much about it. Is again the idea that Tifa, as revealed during the live stream, coma moment in Midil, knew about Cloud's condition the moment she found him in Midgar when he stops by with from the train, and before the start of the game, actually, and she knew something was up, and then doing the recounting of a flashback with Sephiroth knew that something was technically wrong, but never bothered to bring it, and to an extent the player doesn't know that much, only a bidding on Gaga when it's a question about when she's question about Zack. Hold on. And she did it deliberately because, again, she felt that telling the truth would have made things worse, and she believed that in time Cloud could have managed to, put things together in his own, which ultimately, of course, backfired everyone in the ass in the Northern Crater. It's not a case of maliciousness. Again, generally Tifa did not do what was the best for everyone else. You can still argue that her actions caused the fault and to an extent, are bad because, well, yeah, that's what they are. But not to the case as kind of, not egregious, but on the same level, at least as Vanille.
Yes.
With Vanille, there is a still high degree of stupidity on her part, but you can tell that at least a minimal part of potential maliciousness. You can argue that it's tied potentially to the whole conflict that Cocoon and Pulse has. Her being potentially, completely is missing on the people of Cocoon because both countries have been essentially indoctrinated into hating each other and being racist assholes about each other. So I guess that can make sense to an extent, but it's still not conveyed in a decent way, and like Pedro mentioned, there is a lack of catharsis factor of Vanille getting some kind of offense outside of what happened with Sazh, and later on a very small bit with Fang.
Not just that too.
It's not nowhere near enough.
Not just that too. There's another thing, by the way. Tifa does get some redemption by helping Squall piece his memory together.
Cloud.
So sorry, Cloud.
Squall.
Sorry.
I didn't know Tifa was in Final Fantasy VIII, and she was the one who helped Squall remember.
It's a lot.
Continue, Pedro.
It's a lot of names, but the point is, yeah, she helped Cloud piece himself together, so she does help make up for the mess she technically started. Vanille has no such moment of redemption whatsoever. She does not in any way have like a big moment where she can indeed do something. Like normally in a story like this, here's what I would have done. Like if I was forced into writing this, I would probably have some. I
seriously doubt that thing.
Yeah, basically. Actually, is this the scene now?
Is this the cold scene now? Actually, no. This is the Sazh and Vanille great. All
right. So here, let's see what Saz's idea is.
Code green. Security forces stand by. Hostile forces on board. Code green.
Oh wait, was that said in the previous part? Okay, I'll recap after this.
Was what said in the past part?
Don't worry, I'll recap.
They were defeated by a chocobo chick.
Yeah, basically.
The proud cycle forces.
Yeah, basically we talked over it in the previous.
Vanille's back at 8.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Okay, normally I would say that's hot, but it's Vanille, so it's not.
Time to split.
Bullshit. That's still hot.
There's a difference.
Honestly, Dej, you can.
He's a simple man.
All right.
Yes, I am.
Okay. I will be fair to the game on one thing. The bit where the guard got defeated by a chick, the bird kind. I mean, That's not
Hold on,
dumbest
Dubs.
thing
Here.
I deserve to
No, you do not.
Well, that was worth it.
You'd rather die?
Also, guys, I know that you got your weapons back, but why didn't you keep the firearms on you still, just in case?
As I was saying, to be fair,
I might die of
that
fright.
wasn't the dumbest thing I've seen from a supposed highly trained agent being defeated by
myself
something
to
they
live even
shouldn't
harder.
in fiction. That honor still goes
I
to
can
that
just imagine Dodge
to
laughing
that
at me
woman
talking this
who
nonsense.
died in the Alone in the Dark movie because her fellow comrades were too stupid to shoot a
do
bug,
anything to see that smile.
despite the fact that he had like tens of seconds to get rid of it before it killed her.
Stay
To be
positive,
fair, that's
right?
Mind you, did it
To be
kill her
fair-
anyway because she moved her head afterwards?
All right, two things. One, I don't give a rat's ass how physically attractive you may argue she is, Dej. Like if she's stupid and evil, I don't want any of it. The point is,
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, like, she is hot and attractive.
it
You'd be
That's a good, but
surprised.
she's not a good character. Huge.
sure.
Hey, Dej, you'd be surprised how much being a terrible character can be quite a turnoff, even for porn.
Like if for whatever reason Lightning would have some kind of sexual proposal, I mean, my idea would be but only if you're quiet. But the point is,
That's not enough.
I'm not gonna elaborate on that.
the point is, okay. We talked over it, but at the end of the last part, basically, the reason Sazh forgives Vanille is because Luck of Lucks, by telling him her story, Vanille gave Sazh newfound hope. If she woke up from crystal stasis, then of course it's of course perfectly plausible that Dodge can also wake up from crystal. So basically, technically, Vanille gave him more hope than he had before. Now, so
Not intentionally,
Telling the
however.
truth. What a shock. Now, okay, here's a stupid thing though. She could have easily have framed this in a way that she could have informed him it's possible without revealing the fact that she's Alyssa herself. Just say something like, oh, there are actually texts that suggest this or that here and there. I mean, sure, it might have been a bit of a long shot, but Sazh would have been willing at that point at least. Like, and mind you, I am glad that she told him the truth eventually. I just feel like the reasons for her not telling him at least enough of the truth to give him hope at that point feel needlessly contrived just so we could have had that incredibly dark scene.
I also.
Sorry, go on.
It's also bothersome to me because there's little to no justifiable reason why Sazh should even believe her, because the supposed friendship bond they now are supposed to have is not believable at all, because forgot the entirety of their subplot. Sazh has been little more than just a grumpy dad reacting at her stupidity. They've never had.
Though, in anime terms.
The closest thing they've had to bonding moments is when Sazh is being sad over his son and Vanilla's are like, oh, just cheer up. But they've never had an actual proper, conversation that actually feels meaningful. Not really. They just kind of bumbled around together and then went to an amusement park. That's all it is, really.
To be fair, Pedro, if we're going to pretty much count every conversation that's not meaningful, wouldn't that be about 98% of this game?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, whatever meaning this script was originally meant to have got completely butt-fucked mid-development. So.
And mind you, that's even without taking the localization into credit. I did some digging, and from what I can see, while the original script may make more sense, it still is the same overall problems we've had with the story. The characters' interactions are half-baked at best. They don't really seem to go in much places. Hell, apparently in some cases it was actually even more boring than the localization still.
Yeah. Yes, Dibs?
Okay, Pedro, I don't write fanfics that are mature and that, but dialed down a bit, I could try and make one where Lightning and Vanille are in a relationship, but Vanille has to stay quiet throughout it.
That's the thing, Dibs.
I think that as a challenge.
That's the thing, Dibs. The primary ship Vanille has with is Fang. And trust me, like, while the game never flat out states that they're a couple, it's reasonably easy to come to that conclusion yourself because
Pedro and Shiroi,
what?
you wanna know what's funny?
Is there an official art of this?
The city of Palamecia, as a skit, where Snow is actually asked by, God, I forgot, I think Machina from Time Zero, about Sazh and Vanille, if their sister. He ponders for a moment and he says, sort of.
Wait, sort of? How can they be sort of sisters? How does that even work?
My guess is that they pulled essentially a, OG dub Sailor Moon, and they did not want to explicitly say they were a couple. And say
to be fair,
is this kind of like those whole Shinji not understanding homosexuality videos? Is that what's going on here?
Okay. To be fair, I actually assumed that they were sisters too because they both have the name Werba in their name. So I assumed that meant that they were probably sisters or cousins or family related.
Is that a title though, or is it a name?
It's the name of their city. Okay, Teo, correct me.
From being from this place.
Correct me, Teo. Don't all
confirm that that's how the naming works, though?
Okay, their actual names is. Oh, here's this. Oh no, it's not. Okay, I think it's.
Oh, purple! Oh no!
No, it's not yet. Okay. Basically, they're noticing that the others are coming to rescue them. Okay, Teo, correct me. Okay, their actual names for the record is Werba Dia Vanille and Werba Yun Fang. Okay,
yes.
Teo, maybe you probably know. Is it a thing where all the people in the village start their name with Werba?
Yes.
Oh, in that case, Job, it's not a matter that they're sisters necessarily. It's more so that
come from this place.
In that case, Job, it's not necessarily that they're sisters. It's more so that it's a culture, a Werba culture thing, more than anything, probably.
Okay. First off, kind of knew their names before we got to the city, so I didn't know about the whole city thing. And second, was it actually confirmed by law that that's how it works, or is that still just speculation?
Teo is a Final Fantasy Wiki guy, he knows.
I know this.
Okay, let me use this time also to mention something. I think I did mention in the original run as well, but again, at least it bears repeating. I do believe the whole fiasco with Sazh attempted suicide can be easily fixed without adding anything new and just rearranging the scenes properly. How? Don't show the fight with Brynhildr immediately. Have just the scene of Sazh and Vanille confronting, go immediately to the attempted suicide and cut to black. So at least the player can genuinely still believe that Sazh is dead at that point, sure. It still has the problem of him being dragged in the coffin that Jova pointed out, but I don't even know how it can potentially be fixed with what he just said. But at least with that, and when we reprise the action with Sazh and Vanille here, we have a small flashback of that scene where Sazh showcased that he cannot commit suicide. At that moment, his Brynhildr shows up and they fight, and he gains them that.
Yeah.
Again, with this, at least it would not be 100% a complete fix, but it will be at least more sense. It will make much more sense.
Not only that, but Tia, what you said just reminds me of something. Usually, when the Eidolons come out, that usually means that they're there to essentially be, assisted suicide attendees, essentially. So, if Sazh really did want to kill himself, why didn't he just let his Eidolon finish him off?
I gotta love sorry, go on.
I guess he did not wanted the Vanille to die as well, because remember, the Eidolon was powerful enough as well.
That's the thing, though. The Eidolon was only focused on him. Vanille only got involved later when...
Okay, to be fair, Sazh didn't know that, but remember, when Odin showed up, he tried to attack Hope, and Lightning had to intervene. So it's more of a case where the Eidolon just rampages in the nearby area.
Wow, so the Falsi really suck at this whole thing.
The system is just broken to its core, and again, it's supposed to be a plot point, but it's just conveyed poorly.
I gotta love.
Wait. A giant force that should be good at their jobs, but
Dibs, hold on, Dibs.
Here we go.
Listen to this, Dibs.
That means we're code yellow.
Oh, the colors.
Wait,
hold on.
If we were orange, that would mean
The escape made it through. They're entering the engine.
Jill, shouldn't you know what your own codes mean?
You're the fucking
and
general.
She's so angry that she crushes her glasses.
You're the fucking general.
I think she's just panicking.
Okay, if that is what the scene is going for, sure, they're doing a terrible job of conveying that.
Yeah, as I was saying, a force that should be really good at their jobs, in fact, aren't. And it was a game, and it's a game co-written by Motomu Toriyama. Are we sure he didn't create the Dementors in the 7 remake?
Maybe. Well, it is. Well, remember, Dwebs, Toriyama is Kitaza's people, and it was Kitaza's original idea of changing things. So yeah, it is possible. The point is.
So somehow Sazh and Vanille managed to find themselves in the engine room.
Okay, now time for a 2010 Pedro story. I'm not even kidding you guys. When I first played through this game and I saw that cutscene, okay, you're the general. How come you don't know what each of the individual military codes means? Isn't that kind of required? I'm not even kidding. I was literally so baffled by that cutscene that I literally that must be wrong. I must have missed something in that cutscene. There's no way it goes like that. So I went immediately to YouTube to rewatch the cutscene. Nope, it's exactly like I just saw. I didn't miss anything, and I was just like, what? And for the record, this will never be addressed. The general of the fucking Cocoon Army doesn't know what each individual code means, and I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it's not.
The closest interpretation I can give to it is the fact that under all that smug and quote-unquote professionality that Jill has, she's no more intelligent, not intelligent, but capable or quick to adapt to the situation than the General Grant she's commanding. And at the end of the day, it's someone like Daisley who needs to take the reins of the situation because of reasons we'll learn in the next part. But it's still like a bit of a flimsy excuse.
This would be like if I was at work and somebody told me there's a problem, there's a problem in the kitchen, and I at all clueless, not knowing what they're talking about. Like, it's just like, you're the general. Shouldn't you know this shit? What?
Okay, you know what? If this were a case of her having a breakdown, this could have been satisfying if we spent more time with her as a villain. Oh, don't get me wrong, when I first experienced this game, I was looking forward to seeing her taken down, and boy did I get disappointed, but I won't spoil the context later. But regardless, as far as villains go, she hasn't made her presence as a villain known. Oh sure, yeah, we saw her gently smile earlier in a cutscene, which suggested that she might have been friendly. Well, nope. But, let's see. What exactly have we seen her do as a villain? Antagonize Sazh and Vanille, essentially. And just be sadistic about it.
And even then, Jova, she had a total of 4 cutscenes so far?
And yet, to be fair, a lot of fans were left disappointed with how her story ends, so much so that they actually tried to rectify it with 13-2 of all things.
We'll see that actually happening in the next part, so don't worry.
Oh, God. Seriously, that's the thing about this game. Even when it introduces something new that might be interesting, it finds a way to ruin it.
Here's a better theory. My guess is the localization probably screwed up something there.
The official statement, not from the devs, but story-wise, dialogue and everything, essentially mentions that she's becoming vexed by the fact that she's losing control of the situation. But even so, again, the intentional plot point is to showcase the fact that Jill Nabat, can break under not even that much of a pressure.
Yeah, that's my problem with it, Teo.
Shouldn't you be ready for these codes occurring anyway? You established them for a reason.
If she caves in under pressure that easily, then who the hell promoted her to general?
I guess
the same person probably promoted Lightning, I guess.
Yeah, I get the idea. It might have been another case to showcase the fact that the Falsies don't care ultimately much about their pets, quote unquote, and so even the mini-type program is not built up to be super efficient because at the end of the day they can just technically take care in some kind of fashion. Again, though, it's still another case of the setting being better from the way that it's actually conveyed.
Okay. Moving on.
Alright, let's repass instead of the action with the others.
Let's see what the other schmucks are doing.
Final Fantasy schmucks.
That's convenient.
And we're decelerating.
That is.
they up to something?
At least the wind is not gonna blow you up.
It could just be, I don't know, good luck.
Snow, why are you talking?
You got a point.
Not to me. That
I guess that was the game trying to be comedic?
Yeah, this is the primary problem. Every time this game tries to be comedic, it always falls flat because the game doesn't seem to understand how jokes even work.
It's also
That's
probably
because the game spends so much of its time down in the dumps that any part that's funny feels so unnatural to the writing.
In general, the game tries to have a story that takes itself almost 100% seriously. So when it tries to have moments of levity, okay, with Sazh they work better, but still not much because again they rely on a lot of very weird, too bad jokes tied to Sazh as a father, and as the token black character. But when it comes to the others, they just happen. It's not even a case of they're so cringy or they're so bad. They just happen like that.
Exactly.
Don't worry, it gets worse.
It does.
Let me see.
So, Shuroi, what do you think about things are going so far?
Not much, actually.
Go team?
It's a lot of running around, panicking. Same shit, different day.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Not a lot going on.
Yeah, this game does really get repetitive, doesn't it?
It's amazing to me how can a game talk so much and yet say so little.
I know, right? And there is a lot.
Although
talking in this game.
Although allow me to assure you, Deji and Webs, it's even worse than Lightning Returns. Lightning Returns, the characters go all drawn out and talk for minutes and never say a single goddamn thing that's even remotely important. In fact, they repeat shit all the fucking time.
There is one moment in the ruins where we actually learn at least a minimal part of the Fabula Nova Crystallis lore, but even then it's not much.
And even there is. I'm talking about mostly the arc scenes too, because most cutscenes in the arc are nothing but a waste of your time because it's just the character.
Just exposition about stuff that you are the player and to an extension also Lightning already know.
Yeah.
Let me just put it like this. When Snow essentially has the best arc of any character in your game, you've got a problem.
And remember, Snow is the one that has the most screwed up arc in this game because the game wants at all costs to force him into a redemption arc, even though he has nothing to redeem himself over.
Yeah, I guess it's a good point to actually talk about that. I actually did wonder a bit about the entire thing. I believe it's another case of the game conveying shit poorly again. I know that that in itself is a broken record, but I generally do wonder because the Nora stuff is exactly as you guys said. Again, the game is trying to pretend that it was its fault when it wasn't. But considering that Nora wasn't. Hold on, because we're about to get a boss fight. Well, I can say that in another part anyway. It's not even.
You can continue to. The boss is the plot irrelevant anyway. Just go on.
How you figure this makes us lucky?
Wait, this bit.
When we kill it, we're one step closer to Vanille. How's that? Well,
That's not luck, that's progress, you morons!
Oh yeah, that's another thing, by the way. Fang has basically what I can only call Vanille sense, because she's constantly saying, I think Vanille is close. How do you know that? Do you have any kind of internal Vanille radar?
I don't want to say anything. I really don't want to say anything.
Just go ahead and say it at this point,
fine.
It's not like there's anything left to lose.
Fine, I'll say it. They have a deeper connection than we can possibly fathom.
No, that's the Beyond Two Souls explanation.
Fine, whatever.
Okay, so what's your explanation, dear?
The Gaydar.
Sure, why not? It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge series joke, by the way.
I mean, valid.
But hold on, because we're about to get I think second phase. No, it's not the same. It's actually another one. I forgot.
Another one.
Another one.
You know what's the sad part too? There's a lot of
Will ya?
hold on, actually, I'll wait till this. Yeah.
That worked out. And trust me when I mean it worked out, because wait till you see what development is about to occur.
See, and look at that. See, they're finally reunited, and I can only feel empathy. See?
Miss me? You, the monster! Where?
Seriously, at this point in the game...
So seriously, you had to interrupt Sazh. Like, okay, I get it, you know, it's obviously a whole behind you thing, but I don't know, man. That just felt wrong.
Once again, Sazh is mostly the butt of the jokes.
Another thing another problem that I haven't mentioned yet is that while Fang does have one of the cooler personalities, you know, because of the whole, you know, like tell that to my jaw, or like a thing, she's still incredibly underdeveloped. Like, we know little to nothing about her.
Oh yeah, like honestly, most of her development comes from Vanille. Otherwise, Fang is kind of really literally the Sixth Ranger. And I do mean that in all the bad ways.
I was gonna say, which quality is Six Ranger?
Yeah, we
Bad qualities.
Aww.
Why does that feel like
I like this line. I like this line. I like this line here.
She gets to be out of her family, but my
Hold on.
mom's dead.
Oh my!
They're just sisters, guys.
No, okay. To be fair,
Snow was like, oh god.
okay.
There's
Oh, there you go. Okay. To be fair, she was just checking if her brand was still, you know.
I know.
I know, but out of context.
It is a very meme-worthy picture.
That being,
It's not the first time Fang has walked up to somebody and looked at them in an inappropriate place without the person, you know, giving consent. First. You know, there was lightning boobs.
maybe that's it. Maybe that's why a lot of people like to theorize, you know, because she looks at female body quite a lot in this game, doesn't she?
Alright, so I think the real question is, are they siblings or are they cousins?
That's the thing, Shiroi. The game, like Tails just said, the one game that tried to, when that question was actually raised in one of these games, the game basically just did a maybe.
Oh, okay, I actually like this beat.
Yeah, this bit.
Now
So,
Fang and Vanille will show you how people hunt on polls.
Honestly, Shiroi, I get the feeling they want to intentionally keep it vague so that people can just have their own headcanon.
It also justifies Vanille's weird weapon design. It's actually, you know, a kind of a fishing pole.
So, Vanille's weapon is literally a fishing rod when you get down
For
to it.
aerial creatures.
Yeah.
That's a good guess.
But yeah,
More like a whip, but yeah.
basically, Shiroi, I think they generally want to keep it vague so that people can keep their own headcanon, basically.
Cowards.
Yeah, cowards as well. It's not even a case of just because, you know, to ruin a relationship.
A mechanical owl watching them.
Final Fantasy has always been moderately chaste in portraying the relationship between characters.
I guess,
You might get a kiss once in a while, and then there's that.
Also,
Ghost ribs.
Or that scene with Cloud and Tifa.
the mechanical altover, I think it's because the cat was taken.
Also, look at the... Forget it, the Sazh is about to fall. Laugh, guys.
Is someone going to help Sazh, maybe?
No,
Just
it's
wanna
funnier that
remind
way,
you-
Pedro. Laugh.
You know, we recently just had a scene about Sazh being tear-broken over the fact that his son may be lost to him, but he might die. Funny. Look, there's a time and a place game. Time and a place. And you picked one of the worst moments to do it.
But yeah, here's the thing, Shiroi. No, the first thing she did with Vanille was, of course, look up her skirt, then hug her and say, making me worry like that. So yeah, I don't blame people for, you know, thinking things.
Oh boy! the next part coming up is
Only in the next
Troy-
part.
I mean, no, sorry. Dej, Dwibs, are you ready for the story to absolutely become stupid? Oh, don't get me wrong. It's been done before, but
Okay.
then what's coming up in the next part is where the game pretty much throws all sense of rationality out the window.
Yeah, Java's not joking, by the way. This is the part where the game officially shits all over itself. I'm not even kidding when I said I mentioned this. I ranted about this in the original run, and it begs repeating because I'm not even kidding you, Dej. The game is about to completely shit all over its story.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Hey, on the plus side, at this point, you finally have your complete party. You can actually switch to
Allow me
what you want.
Allow me to. There you go, Dej. You were quite in distraught when I told you this originally. There you go. For 23 parts in, about I don't know, we're what?
We're almost 2/3 into the game, honestly.
We're about 2/3 into the game. Only now, Dej, can we change our party.
There you go, 12, almost 13 hours in. How poetic.
So yeah, man, I don't know about you guys, but man, that was a long ass tutorial that we just played through. And now, all right, let's start the game now.
Pedro, isn't the tutorial technically not over until we finally get to an open world sequence?
Oh,
sorry, I mean one that's
what?
not just a hallway.
Oh God, he's right. Damn it.
Yeah, we're still in the tutorial phase, Dej.
What?
Remember, Shiroi, we're still gonna be getting tutorials even after this because the most of this game is a tutorial.
Good night, everybody.
We're not over yet with the part, so let me also add from that bit. The closest we got, again, to an official stable couple was technically to an extent Cecil and Rosa, which had a son in between games, before the outer years. But other than that, Final Fantasy has never been about portraying relationship that were more intense than maybe just a kiss. Oh, don't get me wrong, they did attempted proper romance with Cloud and Tifa to an extent, although you can tell they were just touching a bit with the subject without going that much. Then Skull and Rinoa, which we already mentioned enough how it was kind of poorly handled, and the localization
That's putting it mildly.
Did not help to the slightest. Zidane manages to actually fare much better with Garnet / Dagger, but they basically get a kiss to basically at the very end of the game, and even that it's almost more of a hug than
it's not a kiss, it's a hug, but it's okay because
that atmosphere more genuine at the very least.
The reason that ending is so beloved is because it's so cathartic, because the game did such a brilliant job building up their relationship that when it finally happens, it's such a huge cathartic moment for the player.
Tidus and Yuna is your very, very cliched teen romance kind of story, and sure, it works out in the end, but I don't like Tidus so much that I just don't care about that, even if they actually had that entire, CG cutscene about having a kiss. Okay, 12 doesn't really have that much when it comes to love stories, more like as a setting, because again, Matsuno cares more about establishing a setting rather than, having a potential love story that can be potentially more, tumoric than anything. I can understand about process, and essentially now we have this, but I can elaborate more in the other parts.
Indeed.
See ya.
See you then.
See you then.